Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me.
No problem.
And I know it can be nerve-wracking, the camera and stuff, so I hope you can just flow with it.
No, not a problem at all.
Okay, so who do you have sitting on your lap?
This is Gabriella. She was born in September, so she's just a little over 2 months old.
Oh, so you have a newborn.
Yeah.
And how's that been for you?
It's been wonderful. It's been a lot of adjustments and transitions. As you know, the first week what was nice was that my husband had a week off for paternity leave.
Okay.
So he was able to be home as we kind of went through some of the adjusting, and especially because at that point she was up all night and sleep all day, and so so it was great having him there. But then after that point, he's been back to work, and so it's just been an adjustment trying to learn new routines that not only involve just me or just my husband, but also incorporate her as well.
Got you. So what I hear you saying is you have a 2-month-old.
Yeah.
And your husband was here the first week, and he was a great help to you before he went back to work. And now you guys are just adjusting to the routine of a newborn. Now tell me about your family dynamics. How many are in the family?
She's our first. On my side of the family, she's my parents' first grandchild.
Okay.
She's my husband's family's 7th grandchild.
Okay.
So she gets a little more spoiled from my family. But what's great is that they do live right next door, my parents. So
okay.
We kind of have extra support from that side.
That's good.
But his family lives about 15 minutes away too, so it's not like they're very far either. So
it sounds like you have a large support system.
Yes.
Which is good.
We do. And we have a great church support system too. So overall, I don't think there would ever be a shortage in babysitters if we ever needed them. So everybody's been more than willing to help, which has been great. Even my grandmother flew up the week that she was born to help out around the house. And if you need to take a nap, go take a nap. And so it was great. My mom had taken a couple days off of work, so we've really had more support than I could have ever imagined.
That's good. So it sounds like you're feeling good about the support system that you do have.
Yeah.
So that's good, because sometimes with being a new mom, it can be overwhelming.
And it can. There are times when she's crying. You start to learn what they're crying for, if they're hungry or need to be burped or need to be changed. But then there are times where she just won't stop crying, and so makes me feel helpless. As a mom.
Yeah. Tell me about that. What's going on when you feel helpless and you're not sure what to do for her?
You try, like, is she hungry? She's not. Does she need to be burped? No, she doesn't. You kind of go through a routine of, like, checking everything, and and it's still not. And usually it's just because she's overtired and she needs to sleep. But she doesn't really want to. She doesn't want to miss out on anything. So, so we just, I try just rocking her or, trying to pacify. So, you kind of just go through things. And sometimes it's 30 seconds and she's out. And then other times, 5-10 minutes before she falls asleep. And so that's, kind of when I feel like the most stressed and overwhelmed at that point.
Got you. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you're not sure what she's crying about, or she needs to sleep, but she's just like, I don't want to miss anything, and so how do you cope with that? What gets you through that so you don't become
a lot of deep breaths and a lot of prayer. I've wanted to be a mother since I was a little girl. And so, I keep remembering, that I did pray for this to happen. So, be careful what you pray for. No, I'm just kidding. I just, a lot of praying and, asking God for help and just breathing, just knowing that it's this is just for a couple minutes and she's okay. It's not that there's anything wrong with her at all, and just take a deep breath because it'll pass.
That's good. So you're able to distinguish there's nothing wrong. This is normal and it will pass. And you really are leaning on your faith to kind of help you get through it. That's good. So your faith is a support system for you?
Yes, absolutely.
As well, right?
Absolutely.
So how has the family dynamics changed between you and your husband now that you have Miss Gabriella?
Well, it was interesting because couple weeks, I would say maybe about a month after she was born, we had wanted to go out for date night, and we'd kind of gotten everything all set up, and then the thought occurred to me that we can't take our daughter with us, and so who's going to watch her? And so, my husband and I definitely we don't go out, just the two of us, nearly as often as we used to. So it's, making sure that we still have time as a couple, so there's certain times where, like, if she falls asleep, then, we'll have later night dinner to just the two of us, and so she's asleep. So this way, we still have our time, so we don't lose that we're still a couple, and, because if the two of us aren't as strong as we were, then we can't give her the love and support that she needs. So, it's always we have to make sure that we're doing well. And so since he works second shift, so he doesn't get home till 11:30.
Okay.
And so, like, he'll call me on his way home, and, we'll talk. And so we just try, even though we don't have as much time together, we just, try and find times and find ways to make sure that we still get the time that we need.
No, that's good, and that's healthy. So who ended up watching the baby that night, or did you guys end up going out?
My mother-in-law did, and she was extremely happy to watch her. But then even, some of the planning that goes into things like that, we had left a certain amount of milk for her, and and it was just barely enough. Like, we thought we left more than enough, and she was like, well, I was gonna call you if you didn't come soon. So, and we had gone, the three of us had gone up to Massachusetts, and my aunt and uncle live up there, and so we were going to visit them, and we had packed 2 extra outfits and plenty of diapers, what we thought anyways, and she went through both of the sets of clothes within the half an hour, and so it's like you have your plan A and plan B, but you also now need to start thinking about a C and D just in case. So it just takes more forethought instead of being reactive, and also just some go with the flow. Like, there was one time we had gone out and we ran out of wipes, and instead of getting really stressed about it, we were like, well, just stop at the store. Like, it's no big deal. Because the more stressed we get, then the more we kind of put that on her. And it's not her fault, we need to make sure that we're planning ahead. So it's a lot of transitions.
It's a lot. And it sounds like you're learning good coping skills, and you're learning to flow with the stress and not get overwhelmed with it. And there's a learning curve, and it sounds like you're kind of learning as you go with her. And
right. One of the hardest things is that has to do with her, but not directly, is just, everybody has their own opinions. And so, like, you should do this, or she's definitely hungry, and she's not. And, people act like they know everything about your daughter, and you have to remember, like, her the best, and, not to get offended, but just kind of take it in stride, and, like, I hear what you're saying, but that's not what I'm going to do right now, because I don't think she is. And, so I'm trying not to get overwhelmed and stressed when everybody else, puts all their 2 cents in.
No, and that can be really stressful, because you're the parents, like you said, and then you've got grandma, great grandma, even though they're your support system, they also can think that they know best.
Right.
So, but that's good that you're learning that, okay, she's mine. Right. I have the ultimate, authority. Yeah. So how is the transition? Are you working, or you going back to work, or school, or?
So the good thing was I was able to get 12 weeks of maternity leave. Part of the downside to that was that the first 6 weeks are paid and the second 6 are not.
Okay.
So, it's also learning, what do you really need versus what do you really want? Okay. Those wants right now are definitely put on hold, and with Christmas coming up and everything, it's a little harder because you're trying to get everybody gifts, and with me not being paid until mid-December, it's a little harder, but it's definitely worth it spending the extra time with her. But I go back in the middle of December, and so then the students have a couple weeks off, or a week off for Christmas and New Year's. So I'll go back for 2 weeks, and then I'll have another little break.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is, financially, this is a sacrifice.
Yes.
For you to be able
Absolutely.
To stay home and have more time with your daughter.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. So back to what I was saying. So financially, you're accepting that it is a sacrifice for you to stay longer with her. And are you looking forward to going back? You're teaching, correct?
Yes, I am. There's some positives and negatives.
Okay.
Tell me about think one thing that I'm not really looking forward to is, obviously being away from her. She's getting to the point where she's close to crawling, so knowing that I might miss those first moments. It's hard. The good thing about that though is my husband is working second shift, so he's going to be the one staying home with her during the day. So I think knowing that it's not just daycare that I have to drop her off at, I know exactly who's going to be taking care of her. And I had to go into work for one day, and he sent me pictures, and so that it's more comforting. Especially knowing that it's her dad who's there, my husband. So, I think that's much more positive. I think, I love what I do. I'm looking forward to meeting with the students. I'm looking forward to, my colleagues. You kind of become a family. So I am looking forward to going back.
That's good. That's good. So it sounds like, you're feeling confident and okay with your husband being the one, who's watching her versus daycare. And even though you're missing some stuff, at least, he's going to share it with you.
Oh, it's okay. And it's interesting too with him being the one who's staying home. Like I said, I've always wanted to be a mom, and I've had little cousins, and I've had a lot of practice, and he has not had as much practice with babies, especially. So we kind of came up with what are some things that you could do while it's just you and her, and so a list of activities, just because for him it doesn't come naturally. And and she's only awake so many hours of the day right now, and so we want to make sure that all of those hours are used to the best of their ability. So reading a book, you can go for a walk with her, get her outside, so just some things that he could do. And then and so that seemed to work. But one day I did go back to work. He said he was able to do a few different things with her, but So that, you know, it went well. So I feel like, you know, he definitely has the skills that he needs to be able to be at home for that long.
And it's good that you feel confident, you know, with him being home with her, and that you feel like he has the skills. And then also even... Oh, she wants us to bottle.
I know.
So, yeah, so it's good that you feel confident, you know, that he's going to be staying home with him. And that you guys are even discussing and planning, you know, different things that he can do with her, you know, while you're not here. And does he appear to be, like, looking forward to this, or is there apprehension? Or
I think he's a little nervous, because it's another transition for him and getting into routines with her. He's also going back to college. Okay. So his is online, which is great. Right. But that also means that when she's sleeping, he needs to quickly take out his laptop and get to work. Mm-hmm. And so that's why, like, the routines for her, making sure she's napping at a more regular time, right. That will help him as he's with her. So it's just making sure that he has enough time. I think that's what he's more stressed about is, you know, he wants to spend the time with her. Right. But he also knows his obligations for college, and he knows his obligations for work. So it's just trying to balance everything. You know, he was grateful that I was able to stay home with her for so long, because then as he is trying to transition to being a dad and going to college and work, that's been a smooth transition. So now it's going to be another one when I go back to work.
Right. And as you were saying that, I was like, okay, there's a lot of transitions going on here.
Yes.
So, and you know, with Allie, your husband, you know, right now he's working. He's going to school online. For his bachelor's?
He had taken some time off. He would not have done, wouldn't have put in the effort if he had gone right out of high school. So, right. And he really didn't know what he wanted to do at that point. So, he had decided to take some time off. And so now that he's going back, you know, he loves it and he's doing well. But that's more of his issue, is that he has been doing so well that he doesn't want, you know, to start slipping in school because he has too many commitments. Gotcha. So that's more of the apprehension piece there.
Got you. So you have in your family dynamics just a lot going on. Yeah. Really a lot of transitions. You're going back to work. You're a new mom. He's working, going to school. Is a new dad, and then also taking on the daycare responsibilities. Right. And then when he's home, you're at work. When you're home, he's at work. So it's a lot of...
So weekends will be wonderful.
Exactly. So you have so many different dynamics. And even though you have support, what does it feel like to almost be alone a lot of the time with her, navigating through this?
It's funny because now that he's had a couple days where it's just been him by himself, like... He appreciated what I did anyways, right. But it's almost like he really appreciates what I do, because then he sees, like, oh, it's not easy, you know. Right. I think some people have a misperception of women who do stay at home, and, you know, they think that, oh, it's, you know, you get to enjoy and relax most of the day, and you know, it's a lot of work. You know, you're trying to do a lot. So I think it's been... You know, there are some stressful moments, but I think overall, you know, even the times where it is just me and her, it's just finding things to do. And, you know, she has a swing, and so I'll put her in the swing and, you know, read her stories, and, you know, being a teacher, that comes naturally. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So, we're going to close this interview for now, but I just kind of want to recap, you know, you're a new mom. You have the blessing of being on maternity leave for an extended amount of time. You have a great support system, family, church, your spirituality, your faith, your husband, and you're doing a great job in your transition and with your beautiful Gabriela. So I just want to say thank you again for doing the interview with me.
Absolutely.
You too, Gabriela.
Absolutely.